Welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina, and a sold-out Reynolds Coliseum where the 6th-ranked Wolfpack have won 18 in a row against ACC opponents. The last team to beat them, the one visiting tonight, the 11-1 Duke Blue Devils. Hi, everybody. Jen Hildreth along with the Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli. What a night we have already had in ACC women's basketball. What intrigues you about this one?
Well, NC State's got a sold-out environment. This place is already on fire early on, and we're going to find out just how good Duke is. We already know how good NC State is. They're the next team in the country. Are the Blue Devils for real? We're going to find out.
Yeah, well, one of the questions for Duke were all the new pieces this year, but how good has Kennedy Brown been?
At 6'6", she poses a problem on most nights for most opponents. She can score on the low block. She's an excellent facilitator in their high post offense. She also can defend her position. She's good in their ball screen coverages. She protects the rim. She can score on the inside. She'll be a player to keep your eye on tonight for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Kennedy Brown along with Celeste Taylor, the two players, according to Duke head coach Carol Lawson, who really anchor this Duke defense that is putting up some of the best numbers in the country so far. No doubt that will be challenged tonight with an NC State team that averages over 80 points per game. But Debbie, two big questions really coming in for NC State tonight. Would we get to see these two players in Diamond Johnson and Jada Boyd, who've been out the last few games?
Well, obviously Diamond in street clothes, rolled her ankle right before Christmas in the South Florida game. Jada Boyd has been out, will be expecting to play 85%, and in their absence, the bench has played extremely well, including Sanaya Rivers. She has the ability to be a breakout star, and this could be the night. She's long, she's athletic, she's running the point in the absence of Diamond Johnson on the top of the floor, and this is going to be a game for Sanaya where she can showcase all of her skill set against a very good defensive-minded Duke team.
Ready for the tip from Reynolds. Dee Kantner tosses it up, and Duke starts off with the basketball.
Duke likes to run a lot of sets. They are very balanced offensively, and NC State's going to have to be locked in on this end.
Reagan Richardson, transfer from Georgia, taking the first shot for the Blue Devils.
You're going to see ball pressure for 94-50 out of Blue Devils defensively.
Same starting five for the NC State Wolfpack as they put out the last game, which was a while ago, December 18th against Clemson in their ACC opener. That is a foul. That will go against Cheyenne Day Wilson, her first.
So that's an important play because there is got to be freedom of movement, and this is going to be interesting. The officials are setting the tone early on. You better keep your hands off or they're going to blow the whistle. That could be to NC State's favor. They have a shorter bench.
15 on the shot clock. Camille Hobby looked to be calling for help. Spins and takes it herself. Finds a wide open Mimi Collins, whose shot was affected just enough. Day Wilson pulls up, reigning ACC Freshman of the Year a year ago, is voted by the coaches.
How NC State handles the Blue Devils' pressure up the line, their ability to force you into help, the way they guard 94-50 is challenging. You got to move the ball, Jen, like that. You got to look to play inside out.
Shot taken with 5 on the shot clock. Starting 5 for the Duke Blue Devils: Celeste Taylor, Elizabeth Balagoon, Brown, Richardson, and Day Wilson. This is Balagoon. Takes a 3 and makes it good for her to see one go through. She was 0 for 6 the last game, a win against Virginia.
NC State needs help getting the ball inbounds. This is the first thing Wes Moore worked on in practice at shoot-around today, was getting the ball inbounds against full court pressure.
Carry there by Rivers turns it over. Yeah, as we were watching shoot-around today, I know that we both picked up on that, and no secret that, of course, Wes Moore is going to work on his team trying to break that Duke press. And I thought there were some moments of confusion as they tried to work through some of the different looks they'll see from Duke tonight.
Camille Hobby trying to three-quarter and play on top of Kennedy Brown at 6'6". She's a large target inside. Duke does a really good job of isolating her on the block.
Richardson gets her own rebound, gets it over to Taylor. 8 newcomers on this Duke team this year, including Brown, transfer from Oregon State.
NC State's going to have to find other ways to get into their offense. It's not a natural point guard and a natural setup.
Hobby gets the first points for the Wolfpack. Quick pace is Richardson, quick shot. Jakia Brown-Turner, only 1,000 point scorer on the floor for the Wolfpack. There is contact, it's a blocking foul.
Well, neither team has done a very good job in their transition defense early on. You got to referee the defense there. She was not in legal guarding position. Good call by the official. Carol Lawson didn't like it, but you're dealing with Dee Cantner over there, and she doesn't make many mistakes.
Reagan Richardson picking up the foul. That puts Brown-Turner on the free throw line. Third season at the helm at Duke for Carol Lawson. Of course, spent some time in the NBA, spent some time in the broadcast booth after her playing days were over. Has this team off to a great start, 11-1 overall, 1-0 after that ACC opening win against what had been an unbeaten Virginia team.
Now Duke will call a lot of sets when the game slows down into the quarter court. Coach Lawson becomes the point guard over there, and she calls everything.
7 to shoot. Taylor, too strong.
It's a much better defensive possession by NC State.
Rivers nearly got her hands on the rebound. There was a foul on the floor against Duke. Third team foul against the Blue Devils so far. This one committed by Balagoon.
Yeah, this is a very physical Duke basketball team. They're a deep team as well. They play 11 players, 11 minutes. And I think that's sort of the nature of where the game is going, right? If you're going to take in a bunch of transfers, they come in and expect to play. There's 11 transfers on the Duke roster, 7 of which get significant playing time.
3 changes there is Jordan Oliver, Vanessa De Jesus, Taya Corusdale come on. And NC State couldn't get it in. The defense has been what Duke has really relied upon, holding their opponents well under their season average for the most part this season. Their only loss against UConn. Same story for NC State. Their only loss is they come in with an 11-1 mark.
Well, Duke has a good win against Toledo, who was picked to win the MAC. And outside of that, the UConn loss is probably a tough check for all these teams, but Duke hasn't played the most challenging non-conference schedule. Some of those numbers could be inflated.
Look inside for Corusdale, another transfer from Oregon State.
I expect this to be a low-scoring game. Duke does a good job with their defense, and NC State, without having 2 of their leading scorers available, we'll expect to see Jada Boyd. But Diamond Johnson not available, who is the leading scorer for NC State.
Hobby makes it work with the left. She has 4.
Excellent footwork inside by Camille Hobby to go around the 6'6" shot blocker.
Taylor. Rivers able to bring it up without too much trouble. Back to Hobby. Shot in the corner. Doesn't go. Collins unable to hit so far in her attempts.
Good defense to build a wall, and good no call.
Brown. Yeah, she's got some range.
When you have a big that can shoot that trail, shot, not always the three, but in the middle third of the floor. That really can put some pressure on your transition defense.
1-point Wolfpack lead. There's Taylor getting after it defensively for Duke. A low-scoring affair so far between these two teams. 1 point, Wolfpack advantage, 4:19 to go in the first. It's been tough to get a basket to fall so far here, Debbie. If you are NC State, though, give us a couple keys here for what they're looking for to beat what Duke is bringing defensively.
This has not been pretty so far. Not entertaining for the crowd. NC State 29%, Duke 17% from the floor. These concepts have to be in your offense when you go against a pressure team. You got to be able to have high post entries, dribble entries when they overplay, one pass away, backdoor cuts, and ball fakes. These are the things that Wes Moore worked on today with his team. These are things that are already conceptually a part of the system. When you go against pressure teams, you got to welcome the pressure and then take advantage of it and make them pay for it.
Isaiah James and, as you just saw, Jada Boyd on the floor for NC State. Boyd making her first appearance since December 1st. It's been out the last 4. Taylor from the corner is good.
Madison Hayes has got to take away that airspace. And now here comes the full court pressure off the main basket. See, Duke has not been able to score, so they haven't been able to bring the full court pressure.
Rivers, a little slip by Boyd.
Let's see if she has her explosiveness.
A lot of contact. Both players go flying to the floor.
Again, that is refereeing the defense. Corsdale jumps out on that ball screen action. Okay, she is not a legal defender.
4th team foul against the Blue Devils. None whistled so far against NC State. Rivers, national champion in South Carolina. Started the last 3 now for the Wolfpack. River Baldwin, transfer from Florida State, has it blocked. Oliver got the quick 2 in transition.
And you got to be ready to handle the ball against pressure. Full court, man-to-man defense right now by Duke. And River Baldwin's got to go rim, body, ball when she makes that move. You can't bring the ball before your shoulders. You bring it right into the shot blocker.
Mia Heidi, the 6'3" grad transfer from Tulane, doing the defensive work, trying to again there, and affected the shot of Rivers. Foul against the Wolfpack on the rebound.
Duke knows NC State, without a natural point guard on the top of the floor, is having trouble getting into their offenses. Right here, there's the block by Oliver, and then Oliver with the bucket.
Blue Devils leading by 4 on a 7-0 run, made their last 3 field goals.
They're coming off the timeout. They have been more efficient offensively.
DeJesus. She's coming off a really good game. Vanessa DeJesus led the team with 15 points in their win against Virginia.
So normally on a healthy Jada Boyd, she might swipe that through and take it down the lane line.
Yeah, she was able to go through most of what NC State did at shoot-around today, but obviously has not been in game action. Another foul on the floor. That's the second in a matter of minutes here on Baldwin.
So you have to be stationary to do this. Dribble handoff. There might be some in the arena that might like to call that a flop. But flopping is an emphasis in the game, but we do not have a penalty for it. I would like to see that change in a rule change here.
Second foul on Baldwin sends her to the bench. Hoppy Brown-Turner back on, and there is an offensive foul. Boy, this one's being called tight.
Same thing. You know, the dribble handoff, you've got to be stationary.
Miss Mia Heidi, her first.
NC State will be shooting free throws. See, that's an up-the-line pass and a turnover. And fortunately for NC State, Duke doesn't get a bucket when they have numbers.
And Sanaya Rivers just using that length to disrupt as much as she could. Duke press does its job. Oliver looking over toward Lawson, has the best assist to turnover ratio in the ACC. Offensive foul, you better play it clean.
Well, the foul's mounting up for the Blue Devils. However, they've got more depth than NC State. This is the pace for Duke. This is where you got a ball fake, you've got to cut hard, you've got to set a good screen at the right angle.
NC State a little bit out of sorts, but the fouls, I think, have also kept Duke from really feeling like they're in too much of a rhythm, except on defense. They get another takeaway. Give it right back, though. Rivers looking the other way. Finally, the crowd gets a little something to cheer for as James hangs on to the rebound.
Well, this crowd is just waiting.
Saying, give me something good. Brown Turner. Boyd, see her flying in for the rebound.
That's what NC State has missed the last 4 games. The explosiveness of Jada Boyd on the glass.
Brown Turner, tough basket. Off the glass, it's good.
You don't usually see too much emotion out of JBT, but she wanted the and one on that.
DeJesus, little short. And after the fact, another foul.
That's 3 on Corsdale.
Yeah, Corsdale, just 2 actually. Heidi had picked up the last couple. So Heidi has 2 for Duke. Corsdale also has 2. And we are still in the first quarter.
This is a heavyweight slugfest, right? And when you're the number 6 team in the country and you're playing at home in a sold-out place, you don't look very comfortable right now. And Duke is just doing their thing, playing D, keeping the tempo where they need it. When they've been able to score, their pressure full court has been a problem for NC State.
How might that be affected by foul trouble? We'll see as this one goes along. Rivers has her first points of the game, ties it up at 10 with just over 30 to go in the first quarter. DeJesus, junior out of Valencia, California, letting the clock run down. Works off a couple of screens, wanting to go back inside to Brown, who's back on the floor. Shot from mid-court, is good!
She eyes the clock. She spots it up. I think she called glass. Jakia Brown Turner showing some emotion, exactly what the Wolfpack needs from their senior.
Run by NC State to end the first quarter. None bigger than those 3 right there off the glass. Jakia Brown Turner bringing a little emotion to the floor. 6th ranked Wolfpack now with a 3-point lead after the first quarter. And what has been a tough one so far for both teams to find a rhythm.
Well, Duke started 1 for 11, then the quarter timeout came, and then they played better. They shot it better, they could set their press, they forced NC State into some tough turnovers. I think the timing for NC State on this end of the floor has got to get better, or Jada Boyd and Jakia Brown-Turner, known commodities for the Wolfpack, can start to really play better.
You wonder if maybe in that huddle, Westmore said, Jada, go on and let them know you're back. Takes the first opportunity she gets in the quarter, gets the 2 points. Her first appearance in 4 games.
Well, that's a tough step back. There's a lot of contact on the ball. And this is where I think the timing has to be better. Like, you can't get too deep in the shot clock when you're struggling to enter into your offense. And Duke has something to do with that. They've been very disruptive.
Boyd going to the basket again. Remember, no Diamond Johnson for NC State. Misses her 3rd straight game. She's in street clothes. Boyd does make a return.
NC State did a good job of getting back and setting their D. They're really challenging that ankle of Jada Boyd.
Brown, big rebound pulled down by Rivers.
Duke can play physical. They are a very physical team because they have the depth to do it.
Kick by Balagoon and reset things. Well, every Sunday afternoon, we've got more women's basketball here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. We're going to have you look ahead for next week. Got these 2 games to feature. Pitt and Louisville, that's at 2. Then Notre Dame, North Carolina, top 25 matchup there at 4. Also have Notre Dame this Sunday on ACCN, taking on Boston College. And gosh, Debbie, the scores even tonight showing you just how tight this league is. Clemson, a huge win against Virginia Tech.
Welcome to the ACC race where 5 teams potentially could win it.
Team that won it last year, NC State, got the sweep of both the regular season and tournament titles, their 3rd straight ACC tournament title. Travel there on Balagoon.
Westmore, as animated as I've seen him early in a game. He knows how big this one is. NC State, the number 6 team in the country. Duke, just outside the polls, but garnering some respect nationally. This is where we find out if Duke is for real.
Wide open, Brown-Turner for 3 is good.
Good skip over the top of that pressure.
10 points in the game for Brown-Turner. That one a little closer than the last 3, which is a bit closer to midcourt at the end of the first quarter. Day Wilson is fouled. Rivers gets her first.
Day Wilson has great quicks. As you mentioned earlier, ACC Freshman of the Year last year. I don't think there's any question who the ACC Freshman of the Year is going to be this year.
Tanaya Latson playing not too far away. Just down the road in Chapel Hill. Florida State visiting the Tar Heels tonight. It's won every Rookie of the Week award thus far this season.
Timmons with a big rebound who can quickly get them into their offense. Now, she's more of a point guard.
Timmons, sophomore out of Charlotte. One of the players Westmore talked about. He's going to have to play some big minutes most likely tonight. As James is fouled. Boy, James has had some big games too these last couple when NC State's been shorthanded.
You know, you're counting on James and Timmons in a shorter bench to play quality minutes and produce. So they're going to get an opportunity because there's not a lot of depth. So now it's what you do with your opportunity. And now that they've played well, now they're counted on. So now it's a whole different mindset for them.
Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have a college basketball triple header that begins with this game in Pittsburgh at noon Eastern. Armando Bacot, number 25, North Carolina, taking on Blake Hinson and the Panthers. Should be a great afternoon of hoops right here on ACCN and the ESPN app.
I'll be in Clemson for the NC State Clemson men's game. That's 4 o'clock on the network.
Make sure you get that one in. The free throw makes it a 9-point lead for NC State. Day Wilson, clear lane to the basket, can't finish.
Good hustle by Kennedy Brown.
gives her team another opportunity, and Taylor takes advantage, her second triple of the game.
That's 6'6" Kennedy Brown with a hustle play and a great time to get a three when the defense isn't organized.
Brown-Turner wanted to go to Hobby on the roll, blocked by Balagoon.
Really good rotation on the back. How about Hobby with the confidence?
Does not give up on the play. She has 6. Balagoon open for 3 and knocks it down.
Back-to-back triples for Duke.
Duke shooting 57% from 3 in the game, 4 of 7 so far.
There's a chance to slip by Hobby. You got to be able to see it though if you're James.
Hobby working the offensive glass, gets tied up.
Camille Hobby is such a great success story for NC State. Every time I have one of their games, I love to talk about how her freshman year, she played 6 minutes, then 11 her sophomore, then 12 last year. She played behind Elisa Cunane, and now she's playing over 21 minutes a game. Wes Moore's player development and Hobby's ability to stick with it. Most kids would have transferred and gone someplace else, but Camille Hobby stayed here so she could have an impact.
Yeah, you like to tell those stories, like to see those stories. Duke has struggled from inside the three-point line, just 2 of 15. The three ball's been keeping them close. This one batted out of bounds, just 4 seconds on the shot clock.
I mean, a good sign for NC State is how active Jakia Brown-Turner has been on both ends of the floor in the first half. I mean, that sets her up to bring the energy and to play at another level. She understands that without Diamond, you got to do a little bit more.
Day Wilson, I don't think she called that one, but it counts nonetheless.
They're going to review that one to make sure it beats the shot clock, but I do believe it did. And that cancels out the half-court shot that Jakia Brown-Turner made.
Makes it a 2-point game. Hobby. Quick turnaround is good.
Yeah, Hobby's right now feeling it. She knows if she can step off the lane a tad, that she can score on Kennedy Brown. Kennedy Brown, we started talking about how much of a factor she would be on both sides. This is just great individual hustle right here to save it in bounds and make the extra pass for the triple by Duke.
Taking a look around some of the news and notes in the ACC. Is it too early to talk bracketology? Never for Charlie Cream. 8 teams projected, but which were those 8? He may have some that he might like to add looking at some of the results we've already seen. How about Clemson beating 7th-ranked Virginia Tech in Clemson tonight? First win for the Tigers over a top 10 team since 2000.
Amanda Butler's team plays hard. They came in here and forced 20 turnovers, and NC State won. I guarantee you Wes Moore didn't want to play them again.
NC State 1-0 in conference play after that win against Clemson. Duke 1-0 in the ACC. Their win against Virginia, as Brown now has 4.
Good play call coming off the timeout to get Kennedy Brown a touch. That's just her second made field goal in the game. Now she's 2 for 6.
On this end of the floor, it's largely been Jakia Brown-Turner and Camille Hobby combined for 18 points for NC State. Rivers pulls up over Day Wilson.
I like the ISO though, and I like the play call. Sanaya Rivers at 6'1", Cheyenne Day Wilson 5'6".
And there is some contact there. That's going to be the second personal on Rivers as she fouled Day Wilson, who'll get 3 free throws.
Sanaya Rivers. Rivers' second personal, team's second of the period. On the line will be number 30, Cheyenne Day Wilson, shooting 3.
So 3 free throws on the way for the reigning ACC Freshman of the Year. Coming up next, the Huddle crew has number 7 Clemson covered in Miami for the Capital One Orange Bowl with the latest on the eve of the game. And tomorrow they'll have a 2-hour pregame show. After the game, they'll have a complete breakdown with reactions from coaches and players. Nobody covers the ACC like we do.
We've seen tonight in conference play how the game shrinks. And you have to be good in the quarter court on both ends of the floor because easy buckets in transition don't happen. Making free throws will be important, though. Different defensive look coming off the made free throws. Looking to trap.
1-point lead now after those 3 made free throws. Steps by Brown-Turner.
Really good defensive play right there. They trap, they speed up NC State, and they force a turnover.
You know, you hear a lot of talk about the press by Duke, Debbie, but what element of their defense has impressed you so far in terms of what they do, what they make difficult?
I think they play hard. I think that's the #1 thing. And they're connected on the defensive end about what they're doing from a scheme standpoint.
It's a long 2 from Taylor. She has 8.
She's the only player for Duke that averages in double figures, so you don't want to let her get hot.
Taylor averaging just over 11 points per game. Tough take there by Hayes.
Yeah, the decision-making on the backside of pressure has not been good the last couple possessions for NC State. You can beat the pressure, that's one thing, but you got to make them pay on the backside with better decisions, and you got to get to the bucket or get to the free throw line if you're going to attack. One or the other has to happen.
6 to shoot for Duke. Brown. Tip in, no. Timmons with the ball in her hands for NC State.
See, everybody's standing. There's not a lot of motion right now.
An offensive foul, so there's no Diamond Johnson tonight. Sinai Rivers on the bench with a couple of personal fouls, and that is Hayes who picked up the personal on that play.
Diamond in street clothes is not a good sight for NC State.
Looked to be getting much closer, though, from what we saw. The shot sure looked good. Shoot around today. Want to make sure that ankle is absolutely healed before she gets back out there. 7 to shoot, and DeJesus travels.
When NC State gets locked up quarter court defensively, they're much better. When they're playing in transition, Duke has been able to have an advantage.
A 7-0 run by the Blue Devils has opened up this 3-point lead.
I mean, look how far out Jakia Brown-Turner has to come to get the ball. That is a 3rd or 4th dribble handoff foul has been called combined by both teams. That's the pressure of Duke. I don't see much there. Wes is upset, obviously. Look at how at him. He's been after it all game on the sideline.
Boy, the timing on those dribble handoffs.
You have to be stationary to hand it off.
Both teams, as you mentioned, Debbie, have struggled with that. I think you're right. I think it's 2 on each at least that have been called so far as Balagoon's fouled on the attempt.
So this is where, here's Jakia Brown-Turner. I like this right here. You know, she's pulling everybody in right here, okay? You're playing at home. You're the number 6 team in the country. You need to act like it. Their body language has not shown me that they look like they're the number 6 team. Now, Jakia Brown-Turner looks like she wants to win. And you know Wes Moore wants to win.
Well, this NC State team has just been so good in such a stretch here over the last few years.
Look, yeah, you're down your best player, Diamond Johnson. But you have enough. You've proven in the last couple of games that you can win, and you found different ways to do it. Now, Duke is tough, and they are physical, and they are defensive-minded. You got to welcome that. Make plays out of it.
Bobby calling for it on the inside. Rollins takes it herself.
And mid-range jump shots are exactly the shots Duke wants NC State to take. Then you make a mistake in transition, and Celeste Taylor gets a wide-open three.
12-0 Blue Devil run, their largest lead of the game. Holding number 6 NC State. 23 points so far. The Wolfpack came in averaging over 80. Taylor diving after the ball. When you talk about effort, wanting to win, you think anybody in this building doubts how much Celeste Taylor wants it for Duke? They may not like it.
Okay,
She's going after it.
They know what's being said. Are they for real? Is this a team that can win in the league? This is a terrible pass, first of all. There's no chance that pass is going to get to Jakia Brown-Turner.
10 turnovers by the Wolfpack in this first half. Not only is it a 12-0 Duke run, it's an 18-2 run by the Blue Devils over the last 5 minutes and change. Balagoon adds a couple more.
Okay, so NC State has got to find a way to change the rhythm of the game. Duke has the ability to change the rhythm with the way they defend. And when they make shots, their defense is better because they have time to set the press.
Brown-Turner can't get NC State back on the scoreboard.
I like Celeste Taylor on this play right here. She's in the deep corner. Madison Hayes better get ready to rev up her engine over there on the weak side, because here she comes.
Taylor hands it off to Brown. That's how you do it. Duke flexing its muscle on the road at number 6 NC State here to end the first half. NC State has some work to do. They'll head to the locker room trailing by 12. What a night it's been already in ACC women's hoops. We'll get you all caught up in the studio now. Taylor Tannenbaum and the Hall of Famer Muffet McGraw.
Welcome into the ACC Network halftime report. Oh man, we have some women's hoops going on right now around the ACC, and that's why we bring in our Hall of Famer, Coach Muffet McGraw, to talk about what's going on tonight. This one, Duke pulling away there at the end of that second quarter to take the lead at NC State. What are you seeing there from the Blue Devils that's making them so successful right now?
Duke's defense is tremendous. Their transition defense, their full court pressure. NC State really struggling without the point guard, Diamond Johnson, on the bench with the ankle injury. That's been the factor. Their ball screen defense with the big hedge has really taken NC State completely out of the flow of their offense. And then Duke is surprisingly shooting the ball extremely well. Not known so much for their offense, but they have really made them pay when they have just left people wide open on the three-point line.
Harder to put a bow on it. It's been a great time with you, Eddie, but we got to get back to some women's hoops. Duke pouring it on NC State. Enjoy the second half. Upset alert in Raleigh.
Welcoming you back to Reynolds Coliseum. Duke with the lead, double digits over 6th-ranked NC State as we get set to start the second half. Jen Hildreth, Debbie Antonelli. Debbie, you asked the question, is Duke for real coming into this game? So far, what have they done that's let them be in the lead?
1 for 11 to start from the floor. They finished the half going 11 for 19, so that's one thing. Secondly, they have been disruptive and they've made it challenging for NC State in every action they've tried to run on the offensive end. One of two things can happen here for the Wolfpack. Either they can start taking care of the ball and getting better quality shots, or this thing is going to go the other way. And Celeste Taylor she came ready to play. She's been their leading scorer all season long. She brings a lot of energy, but it's the Duke defense. Disruptive, their ability to deflect shots, their ability to get out on the break off their defense. That is the way they've played all season long. That part of it has been real. and it is delivered here in the first half against NC State.
Well, NC State won both meetings against the Blue Devils last season, but the last one in February really took a big effort from the Wolfpack in the fourth quarter to put the Blue Devils away. NC State was ranked number 5 at the time. Duke was unranked. Took a 31-point fourth quarter for the Wolfpack to win that one. Now they'll have to try to climb out of this 12-point hole as we start quarter number 3.
Well, Camille Hobby has had an advantage in this matchup against Kennedy Brown. They go right at it. Okay, jump ball, good D by Kennedy Brown, but I like the aggressiveness. Okay, and NC State's not a team that likes to play off the bounce very much, but Duke has forced them to do that. They've made every catch challenging, and they have been very good on this end of the floor.
The three-point shot certainly good to the Blue Devils. In the first half, they were 6 of 9 from 3. Celeste Taylor knocked down a couple. She goes to the basket here, hustles to get her own ball back.
See, that's not going to look good on film tomorrow at NC State. Because she out and hustled about 3 players right there in white jersey, and then they get a bucket.
With 1 second left on the shot clock, Balagoon now has 12. Balagoon in double digits. Taylor had 11 in the first half for Duke. And Rivers goes to the basket. That is her first field goal. Had a couple of free throws and a couple of fouls in the first half.
Well, one of the things that Wes Moore is excellent at is second half adjustments. Here's a set that we haven't seen. Look how spread in there, 4 out, 1 in. Sanaya Rivers off the bounce. If you're going to make them play off the bounce, then you have to take it to the basket.
Balagoon picked up her second personal on that play. Rivers has struggled from the free throw line this season, under 50% coming into the game. The offensive rebound puts it in the hands of Brown Turner. Good place to go. She has a dozen.
Instead of a 3-point play, it's a 4-point swing. Now can you get 3 stops in a row if you're NC State to cut into this deficit? And the crowd's trying to help.
Meanwhile, what type of composure is it going to take from this Duke team to hang on the road? Tough environment, 6th ranked team in the country. Brown Turner on the run out. Hobby, hands all over the ball for Duke. It's Day Wilson who comes away with it. Reagan Richardson with the left.
Look how quickly Duke converts. NC State has numbers on the backside. They don't score. Duke quickly the other end.
We've already seen one top 10 upset in ACC women's basketball tonight. Clemson taking down number 7 Virginia Tech.
Notre Dame 22 turnovers on the road at Miami and survived by 3.
Amy Collins short, Hobby and Brown. And those two have had some good matchups individually. Rivers hit her head as she was fouled.
That's the kind of aggressiveness I'm talking about. All of a sudden now NC State on the glass. There's a foul. Brown looks like maybe she got her underneath.
Well, Rivers seems to be taking a little bit more on the shoulders to start this second half. Diamond Johnson not available tonight. Rivers has had some big games, and she's had to step up, play more minutes here the last couple.
Well, her biggest game was on the road at Iowa. That was a huge win for the Wolfpack against the All-American Caitlin Clark. She hit 3 threes in that game. She only made 1 3 all of last season at South Carolina.
Yeah, 22 points in that one for Rivers, and once again, 10 points the difference between the two teams now. Day Wilson.
Oh, that's so smart. She hung on to that dribble. She was looking to drop it off on a roll to the bucket.
Giant Day Wilson.
Balagoon out there playing with 2 fouls. Isaiah James on the floor. Hobby wants it herself. And the Blue Devils ready to run again.
Well, if you're not going to go to the glass, then you have to get back in transition.
Heard Wes Moore's shoot around today. He said, we have to be willing to run. Got to get back in defensive transition. Wants his team to run, not jog. And they get a chance to go down the floor with the basketball as well. Reagan Richardson has been able to beat the Wolfpack a couple of times. She does pick up the foul here, and that is her third.
I mean, watch how hard and wide Duke runs the floor. They quickly get the ball up the floor. Cheyenne Day Wilson eyes to the rim. Richardson on the backside sprints the lane. You got to be willing to match that same effort.
Richardson has to go to the bench with the third foul that she just picked up. Jordan Oliver, Mia Heidi on the floor for Duke. James left open after Heidi fell down, hits it. Hey, Wilson, a burst of speed. Can't finish. Now can the Wolfpack run? Rivers to the basket. Big target to get over. Then Heidi. Hobby double dribble. Thirteenth turnover by NC State. Oliver gives it right back to Jay Wilson. And then taps it over to Balagoon.
I mean, Duke is just flat out tougher. Right now, they are the tougher team.
NC State being tested and then some tonight. Nice move to the basket, but no finish for James.
If Duke scores here, NC State's going to need a timeout. I know Wes Moore's waiting for the media break.
Five to shoot. Oliver, a little out of control. She travels, so that will get us to the media break. The Duke Blue Devils playing with a lot of effort right now, Debbie, and trying to hang on to a double-digit lead. It would be a big one if they can hang on here in Reynolds. Under Wes Moore's leadership, the Wolfpack have been so good here at home at Reynolds Coliseum. You can see what a win tonight would be if they get there. They've won 18 straight at home against ACC opponents, but their last loss against Duke in February of 2020, they have been perfect in ACC play at home over the last 2 seasons. But Duke making things very difficult for the Wolfpack tonight.
So here's a matchup right here with Corsdale on Rivers. I'd clear it out, let her go one-on-one. Comes a little ball screen action. Yes.
There you go.
Exactly the play. You got to take advantage of a matchup.
Sanaya Rivers asked and executed. Off the timeout for NC State, coming off the media timeout there. River Baldwin also on the floor.
And that's part of being aggressive, Jen. It's not just beating the pressure, but if you move the ball, you're going to get a mismatch if you attack their defense when they go full court pressure.
Taylor has been lights out from 3, but there's a foul before the shot that's going to take that basket away. Would have been the 4th triple for Taylor. Instead, it's a foul on Corsdale, her 3rd.
Here comes the trap. You welcome to. Now move the ball. Wide open shot.
Jada Boyd back on the floor for the Wolfpack, making an impact.
Better poise coming off the timeout against the ball pressure and the full court pressure by Duke. There's a steal. Now you get 3 baskets in a row, Jen. Now you're cooking.
Crowd starting to make some noise as well. NC State cutting into this Duke lead was 12 at the half. 8 points in the quarter for Rivers.
They love to isolate in the 2-man game right here.
7 to shoot off the fingertips of Heidi. NC State ball.
There are the stops that NC State needed. They got 3 in a row. Now they got some momentum. They're doing a better job. Bring 2 to the ball, then move it.
Isaiah James bringing the ball up the floor for the Wolfpack.
And you better meet your pass, and you better put some zip on it.
Boyd played about 8.5 minutes in the first half. Her first game back for missing the last 4 with an ankle injury. Here she goes with the left. And she is slow to get up after that drive. Taylor has Corsdale open. Blocking foul called against Baldwin. And that's her third. You sense a real boost with Boyd being out there on the floor, Rivers being more aggressive. Still a 7-point lead for the Blue Devils. Taylor lines one up. Boy, she's been good.
Boy, she has. She has been on fire outside the 3-point line. That's her 4th triple. Go ahead and shoot till your arm falls off, Celeste Taylor.
14 points in the game for Taylor, who scored her 1,000th career point earlier this season against Florida Gulf Coast.
And NC State's built some momentum here, and Duke responds because Celeste Taylor is a veteran. Played on an Elite 8 team at Texas for Vic Schaefer.
Brown-Turner had the hot hand in the first half for NC State. Blocked by Boyd. Think they like having her back out there?
She told me before the game, I feel good. I'd say I'm 85%. I'm like, 85% of you is better than 100% of some. You got to move it out of the corner. There you go. Now attack. You got numbers. 3 on 2.
Rivers goes to Boyd. That's good.
That's how you attack it. Much better adjustments coming off the last time out by Wes Moore's team.
8-point lead for Duke. 6 points in the game for Boyd. Taylor faked the 3, got herself another look.
Okay, so now who wants to guard Celeste Taylor? Because she's been fantastic. She wants the ball in the big moments.
Well, she's been averaging 13.5 over the last 2 games. She has 16 tonight.
Look how far Duke has pushed NC State out to start their offense. You see, that's what I'm talking about. You got to put some zip on that pass.
James. Baldwin trying to get out of the corner after the offensive rebound, and Balagoon takes it away.
Look at the steal by James. Good anticipation.
Right back up and in. Third quarter has been a good one. Duke remaining in the lead, but the Wolfpack have outscored the Blue Devils 19-15 so far in quarter number 3. Taylor had an open look, passed it up, blocked by Rivers.
Rivers checks the clock, makes a smart decision here.
James,
what a move.
He's stealing it.
What a move by the She is feeling a sense of responsibility in that new role, and she's getting the minutes and she's producing.
NC State has cut the Duke lead in half. The Blue Devils leading by 6 as we get set for the fourth quarter. Getting a little energy from James and figuring out how to break the press.
You bring 2, you reverse it, then you get numbers. And when you get numbers advantaged, a 3-on-2, you have to score on it because you have to make Duke play for extending their pressure. NC State did that a couple of times in the third quarter, and they played with poise against that pressure. And keep in mind, they had 11 turnovers in the first half. They only turned it over 3 times in the third.
Should be a great finish here in Reynolds. Duke trying to pull off the upset. One of the best defenses in the country coming into this game, and they have certainly made the Wolfpack work. NC State has won 18 in a row against ACC opponents on their home floor. Gotta shoot. Baldwin does get it off in time and gets her own rebound.
Get a fresh 20. Got to look more organized coming off the timeout. Westmore always saves a few things in his back pocket for a late game. Oh, that's a tough pass to throw that long, that far away from the bucket. Gives Duke plenty of time to react on the weak side.
Balagoon was open. Brown Turner got over to defend, but she still gets the basket.
And while NC State makes mistakes, Duke makes them pay.
16 in the game for Balagoon. Brown Turner, no points in the third quarter after 10 in the first half.
Too much standing around. Got to attack that closeout.
Richardson had a couple of quick baskets in transition in the third quarter, went out with foul trouble.
And Jada Boyd looks a little fatigued, and you can't blame her. I mean, she's missed 4 games. She's not quite in game shape. She did play 8.5 minutes in the first half.
There is Boyd, nowhere to go, picks up her dribble. Rivers running the baseline, is fouled. Balagoon, that's her third.
Foul charge to number 4, Elizabeth Balagoon. That's her third personal, 5th first on the team.
Rivers had 8 points in the third quarter, has 10 in the game.
That is the 6th personal foul that she has drawn on a Blue Devil defender.
Plenty of women's basketball for you here on ACC Network and the ESPN app on Sunday afternoons. This week, our games will start at noon Eastern, and next week, these are the matchups we're showing you for January 8th. Pitt, Louisville at 2, Notre Dame, North Carolina at 4.
NC State bringing some pressure. First time we've seen this out of Westmore's team. And Duke turns it over. So the element of surprise gets you an extra possession.
We've got Diamond Johnson up to her feet over there on the bench. NC State trying to continue their great start to the season, 11-1 so far, even though they have been shorthanded the last 4 games with Boyd out the last 2 games. Johnson's been out. James. She continues trying to get the rebound, instead commits the foul, her first.
Yeah, at least she's playing with some emotion and some effort and trying to make the extra play. And NC State's going to stay in that full court pressure because they did get a turnover.
10 on the shot clock. Corsdale out to Taylor. Offensive foul.
That's a great job by River Baldwin. Outside the restricted area, the play starts outside the lower defensive box. She establishes and obtains legal guarding position.
NC State adding a little bit of press in on when they're on defense. This fourth quarter could come down to who breaks it best.
Now there was a weight room, a rebound by River Baldwin.
Her first point of the game for the Florida State transfer. Grad transfer coming in this year as it's a vastly different look for this NC State team that lost 4 starters, including Elisa Canane on the inside. Heidi is fouled. She'll go to the free throw line for Duke.
Foul charge to number 22.
And that was Rivers who committed the foul. It's her third.
Second team foul. Going to the line number 42.
Duke has been perfect from the free throw line as a team. 6 for 6 now. Kara Lawson not afraid to go to her bench. Heidi made both those free throws. That gets Brown back into the game.
And it's part of the reason why they've been able to keep the pressure on defensively is because they do play 11 players, 11 plus minutes. Now she did shorten the rotation somewhat down to 10. The player that has played double-digit minutes that has not played is Volker. And we haven't seen much of Ashlyn Jackson either.
As we work out a clock issue here on the floor at Reynolds, we'll tell you about some more men's basketball coming up tomorrow afternoon. Got a triple header. We'll start in Pittsburgh at noon Eastern. Armando Baycott, 25th ranked North Carolina, taking on Blake Hinton and the Panthers at the Peterson Event Center. Gets you started on Friday. Triple header right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. You're part of that triple header, yes? Going to Clemson?
Yes, I'll be calling the NC State men. Kevin Keats, his team going down to Clemson to take on Brad Brownell. Clemson Tigers on the men's side, 2-0 in the ACC with coming up a win over Georgia Tech.
Trying to get the clock, score, everything correct. Should be 54-47. You see we're missing a couple of baskets for both teams when you look at the score you see there on your screen. At least that is what our stat broadcast is telling us, so we'll see which one of those is correct.
Well, this gives NC State a chance to get collected over there, and for Duke, they have played with great poise. I have been impressed with Cheyenne Day-Wilson letting the game come to her. She is a very good two-way guard for the Blue Devils. And she's a very good combo guard on the offensive end.
Yeah, I was curious about Day-Wilson because she had such a big role last year leading this Duke team in scoring as a freshman, but as you pointed out, it's a more balanced Duke team this year with all that depth. Her minutes got cut into a little bit. Obviously has done a good job when she's had the ball in her hands tonight. Well, we get everything cleaned up here in Reynolds Coliseum. We'll take a quick break before we finish this one out. It's a good one, 6:24 to go. Well, the reason for the delay here, we're in the fourth quarter in Reynolds Coliseum. Duke is leading NC State 54-47, but the clock, the score, everything froze here. So they're trying to get that reset. Make sure it's correct, obviously, as we head down the stretch. Dee Kantner and our referee crew keeping a very close eye on things, keeping both teams informed, and Crowd cheering. It looks like those numbers match what we have now. 6:24 to go. 54-47, as I said. Duke out in front, as they have been, Debbie, since the half. Although NC State has certainly had some moments where they have come back and cut into the lead.
Well, they've got to, again, here, be able to handle and score against the pressure of Duke.
Brown, Turner, Rivers, James, it's tapped away. Reagan Richardson had it for a moment. Boyd out there for NC State, her first game back. It's the beginning of December.
Boy, Kennedy Brown can really protect the rim and guard her position. 6'6" transfer from Oregon State. When she's healthy, she is very good.
6 points tonight for Brown. Averages just over 9.
Well, Sanaya Rivers has an advantage on the block, and she was trying to post it up, but Cheyenne Day-Wilson did a good job of getting on top of that matchup.
Boyd and Corsdale just stood her ground. Gave Boyd nowhere to go, and then she runs the floor, Corsdale, but it's off her fingertips and out. Corsdale and Brown both transferring from Oregon State. And Corsdale gets the steal. Taylor can't cash it in. Richardson does. Rivers took some contact, but gets it back. Looking inside, James! Tough basket! She'll get a chance for the three-point play. Brown with the foul.
Isaiah James right here just works without the ball. Nice basket cut. Left-handed, gets to that left hand, high off the glass.
Isaiah James, a sophomore out of Virginia Beach, has had some big games. Career high 19 points a couple of times. Does get the three-point play.
Hey, it's a two-possession game for NC State.
Can't leave Taylor open. That's why
Celeste Taylor is having a night.
5 threes that she has knocked down. 19 points in the game. That's a season high.
NC State just looks hesitant all night running their offense.
4 on the shot clock. Collins bowls her way to the basket and is fouled. And don't want to see.
This kind of toughness, though, that NC State needs is to play through some of that contact.
Plenty of concern on the face of Kara Lawson as Elizabeth Balagoon still down on the floor. Under 5 minutes to go. Duke hanging on at the moment. 9-point lead for the Blue Devils. Elizabeth Balagoon took a hit there just before the timeout. We'll give you a quick look at what happened. Look, good to see a thumbs up there. This was the play. She's defending Collins. Takes the shot, goes down, and she's had a big night, Debbie. That was her 4th personal foul, but between Balagoon and Celeste Taylor, it's a season high for Taylor at 19 points. Balagoon ties a season high with her 16.
It's been one of the better games I've seen Elizabeth Balagoon play on the offensive end. And of course, Celeste Taylor has got the hot hand. And 5 for 6 from the three-point line, and she has defended very well all night as well. But when we went down to the locker room before the game to speak to Coach Lawson, he spoke of the energy of Celeste Taylor and how she was the leader of the team, and she expected her to play at this level every night.
2 big free throws there for Collins.
Here comes the full court pressure by NC State, which Duke handles very easily. And then Cheyenne Day Wilson has been so poised on the top of the floor. There's a flare screen for Taylor.
Taylor driving, fouled. Rivers looking over to see if it's on her. She has 3. And it is on Brown Turner, her second. Third team foul of the quarter against NC State.
Well, we knew at the beginning of this game that there were going to be some challenges for NC State, not having their point guard, having to go against a full court pressing team. Watching the time tick down on Notre Dame and Miami getting an opportunity at the end to tie it with a 3, and Notre Dame pulling away with a win in spite of 22 turnovers. And then Clemson with the upset of the night to this point, knocking off Virginia Tech at home.
Florida State also up on the road at 13th ranked North Carolina, although that is a 2-point game. So ranked teams in this league having to really work.
No easy night in the league. We've been saying it from the beginning that I've said there were 5 teams I thought that could win the ACC regular season. 4 of them are still the same. 1 might be different. But the bottom of the league is better, the middle of the league is better, and there's not going to be an easy night in the league playing in conference play.
The Wolfpack will be shooting the rest of the way, and could be a key factor in this one. Wolfpack 13 for 16 from the line tonight. Duke a perfect 9 for 9. And the Blue Devils still up 7. Taylor speeds away to get free. James leading the break. Rivers spins to the basket. It's good.
I don't know how that went in or how she even kept her eyes on the rim. But you got to dig in right here if you're the Wolfpack and get a stop.
15 in the game for Rivers. 5 the lead for Duke. Dave Wilson. There's the stop, but the turnover is going to give it right back to Duke.
Watch this finish by Sanaya Rivers. What athleticism.
Coming back to her home state, she was a 3-time Gatorade North Carolina Player of the Year in high school out of Wilmington, went to South Carolina, won a national championship her freshman year, and now with Diamond Johnson out, especially seeing her role continue to increase. Hobby trying to defend Brown there, does foul.
Good ISO. Hobby walls up and handles the contact. You want to force Kennedy Brown to take that contested shot with her left hand. You don't want to foul her and bail her out.
Brown is 78% free throw shooter. Well, we've seen some amazing fans across the ACC, and now we need your help. This winter, ACC Network wants to experience each sport from your perspective. So snap a pic, take a video, tag it with hashtag #AllTheDevotion, and post it to your social. You just might see it on ACCN. Duke continues to be perfect from the free throw line.
Westmore still has 4 timeouts. Duke has 4 timeouts. Possession arrow belongs with the Blue Devils.
Rivers to Hobby. Goes around the other side.
Well, you got to really get a stop now. You got to dig in right here. This is a critical offensive play right here for Duke.
Wolfpack have been playing from behind since the second quarter, where the Blue Devils exploded for 25 points. Led by 12 at the half. 5 to shoot. Richardson does the honors and makes a three.
Not a three-point threat. 2 for 21 to this point in the season. And hits the big three.
She was 0 for 13 from 3 the last 7 games. You never know. Just keep shooting, right?
Yep, that was the play right there. That was the play. Because it went from what was a 3-possession to now a 10-point deficit.
Does NC State need to change anything here as we get closer to a minute and a half remaining? 8 on the shot clock. Brown, easy 2.
Game over. This will be the biggest win in Kara Lawson's 3 years at Duke.
It took a huge fourth quarter effort by NC State in the last meeting between these two teams. Came last February. They had to put up 31 points at Cameron Indoor in the fourth quarter to win it. They were ranked number 5 at the time. They did get the win on the road, but tonight, Duke coming in. You asked if they were for real. They're giving a resounding yes the way they played tonight.
You know, it's who you play, when you play them in the league this year. And not having Diamond Johnson, you could significantly see the disruption that the defense caused, the hesitation on the offensive end by NC State in running their offense, and just their leading scorer and 3-point shot maker. Duke top 10s are going to go down in the ACC tonight.
Virginia Tech, ranked number 7, already losing on the road at Clemson. Now NC State. You see the frustration on Rivers' face. I mean, she has really stepped up, had another big game for her team, had to commit the foul. And that's the other thing you know about Duke's defense. And it has been good tonight, but they've made some big 3-point shots, and they've made their free throws, all of them.
I thought there were moments when Duke was just tougher.
Yeah, add that X factor in as well to this performance, which, as you said, will be a signature performance for Kara Lawson and this Duke Blue Devil team. Duke under a minute to play, up big at NC State. Celeste Taylor leading this Duke team in every way. On the defensive end, on the offensive end, she has a season-high 21 tonight, knocked down 5 of 6 from 3.
I thought she was terrific. I thought she made tough shots when NC State would close the gap. I think she wanted the ball. And moving forward, that's something to watch for Duke. When you play as many players, at least you're starting to get your identity to where it needs to be in conference play about who's going to do what when.
And these two teams, we were just checking the schedules, they will meet again. It is late, February 23rd. They will play again at Cameron Indoor. So plenty of games to play between now and then. NC State trying to get back to full health. Jada Boyd back tonight for the first time because she missed the last 4. Diamond Johnson inching closer to her return.
Well, not only is Diamond the leading scorer for NC State, she's number 1 and 3rd in the nation in 3-point percentage at 52. So it's her ball handling, it's her IQ, it's her ability to blow by people, her ability to make shots.
Taylor attacks on a couple more, 23 now. And we've talked about some of the other games tonight. I mean, you mentioned number 5 Notre Dame. They have to hang on at Miami. Number 7 Virginia Tech loses at Clemson. North Carolina, ranked number 13, trailing at the moment at home to Florida State.
And don't sleep on Louisville. They were my pick to win the ACC at the beginning of the year. I think they had to go through a little rough patch. They're figuring it out. And look at Virginia bouncing back after that loss. They only have 1 loss on the season after only winning 5 games last year. So Coach Mox has done a great job with her group. That's a tough loss for Georgia Tech. It's not an easy slate in the ACC. This is by far, in my estimation, in my many decades, I think the toughest top to bottom, and certainly at the top.
Get a look at what's coming up for Duke. But they'll be moving ahead into that ACC schedule. A little pep in the step after this one tonight. Impressive performance by the Blue Devils, who all season long have used their defense to hold teams down well below their season average. Look at NC State. They average 80 points per game, 58 tonight. And that 18-game home winning streak against ACC opponents is snapped by the Duke Blue Devils. 72-58, big win for Duke tonight.
Big win for Duke on the road, upsetting a top 10. In conference play, I think this is the biggest win for Kara Lawson in her short tenure at Duke. And Celeste Taylor, what a game, led the way. NC State, when healthy, will still be a tough out. But this is all Duke tonight. They made the toughness plays, they were on the glass, they imposed their defensive pressure, and they played a great team game.
And they get the win to show for it. Duke improving to 12-1 overall, 2-0 in conference play. So that'll do it here in Reynolds Coliseum. Big win on the road for the Duke Blue Devils. For Debbie Antonelli, I'm Jen Hildreth. Thanks so much for watching. Now let's get you to Kelsey Riggs and the Huddle Crew.